Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014 toured the eastern portion of the United States in the summer of 2026 in celebration of the nation's 250th anniversary. After being on hand in Philadelphia for the 4th of July celebrations, the locomotive began its long trip home, running across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on its way west to its home in Cheyenne, Wyoming. On Saturday, July 11, 2026, the locomotive departed Altoona, Pennsylvania, westbound for Conway Yard west of Pittsburgh. A group consisting of Nick George, Jack Anschutz, and I chased the locomotive's journey from Altoona to as far west as Struthers, Ohio. We started in Altoona, watching the locomotive make a spectacular departure from the city that was the heart of the old Pennsylvania Railroad. The locomotive then proceeded to stop on the world-famous Horseshoe Curve before rounding it and storming west. Because of the large crowds, we did not go to the curve, but caught up with the big guy westbound. Let us now watch the departure from Altoona, and then work our way west of Horseshoe to finish our first day in Conway. After departing Horseshoe Curve, 4014 made a brief stop at Crescent. We set up our cameras with a large group of other spectators at a crossing just a little bit west of Crescent. While we waited for the 4884 to appear, an 11,000-foot double coal train passed us and then stopped just a little bit east of our location to wait for the 4014 to pass. Then, a few minutes later, the big boy appears and passes us, continuing west.
Thank you.
We continue our chase. Through pure dumb luck, we arrived in Johnstown at the same time as the 4014 and basically chased it through town, keeping up even with road closures for the big boy and heavy traffic. Our trip through Johnstown culminated with viewing the big guy crossing a long bridge in front of us. The chase through town was a memory none of us in the car will ever forget.
There he is. Right there. just go right. I can.
We next caught the 4014 crossing a small stone arch bridge west of Johnstown. Then, a short while later, we spotted the train again from the car while it made a brief stop. The chase continues west as we catch the 4884 between Johnstown and Pittsburgh. By the time we got near Pittsburgh, we were way ahead of the 4014. We found a good spot where a large crowd had gathered. The local fire department was using their equipment to display a large flag across the tracks, and while we were waiting, a freight train rolled by, and everyone got to test their shots in anticipation of the big boys' arrival. After about 90 minutes, the crowd was starting to get restless in the hot sun, and everyone was starting to get cranky. But then the 4014 came into sight, and everyone's spirits were immediately lifted. The behemoth passed us, and we all happily went back to our vehicles to face the post-run by traffic jam, much happier than we were just a few minutes before.
That guy's been up on that ladder for a while.
Yeah. It's probably a nice breezing thing.
He's on the main, or he's on that one.
He's on the far tracks, leaving the feet.
Everybody get your chest shots. Alright, so we shot out that track.
Our final view of the 4014 for the day was just outside of Conway Yard. We ended our chase for the day here and spent the night in the area. July 12th, 2026 was the second day of our chase. We attempted to follow the big boy from Conway Yard west of Pittsburgh to Struthers, Ohio. This was a much more difficult chase from the day before. We found that the main roads did not stay near as close to the tracks as the previous day. Because of this, we had far fewer encounters with the engine. Our first was just outside of Conway Yard, where we watched the 4014 cross a bridge just little ways outside the yard. Even a few short years ago, the idea of a Union Pacific 4884 big boy operating in the modern era seemed a far-fetched dream. The idea of one operating in the eastern part of the United States, well, I would have told you it was a fantasy. But in 2026, it happened. At one point, this fantastic machine operated only a few short miles from my home in central Pennsylvania. What an incredible journey she took. Who at Alco in 1941 would have dreamed one of their finest creations would tour the nation 85 years later to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday? We give so many thanks to Union Pacific and to Norfolk Southern for making it happen. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of our chase of 4014. We see her storm by for the last time near the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. After this point, she got far ahead of us, and soon it was time for us to turn back for home. What a fantastic adventure it was. We began our trek back east, but we had one more giant of steam to visit before returning home. We made a stop at the Greenville Railroad Park and Museum in Greenville, Pennsylvania, to visit Duluth, Misabe, and Iron Range number 604, originally built as Union Railroad number 304. She is of the rare 0-10 two-wheel arrangement and was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1936. She is also an impressive machine, and the museum is worth a visit to see her and meet the very nice folks that maintain the museum. To Jack and Nick, thanks for being partners in this unforgettable trip. We watched 4014 storm through Johnstown. We watched normies and rail fans alike come out in numbers we have never seen before. And yes, I sacrificed a pair of shoes to the mud pits of the train gods. I can't wait for our next adventure. Thanks to all for watching.